Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I am going to once again be reorganizing my bookshelves. I currently have my shelves organized by genre and the proportions are a little off, so I think I need to move things around to make everything fit in its proper place. Also, while I am reorganizing my shelves today, I thought I could chat with you guys about some stuff, such as what I've been reading recently and some upcoming changes to my TBR game, Scrabble Picks My TBR, so I hope you will stick around for that. I do have some things I would like to know from you. I phrased that weird. I have some questions I would like to ask my viewers about how they would like things to be done on the channel going forward. God, talking is so hard. So this will be a very casual and chatty video as I get my life together and talk to you all about the channel. Hope you will stick around because I would really like to get your opinions, and then you can see hopefully a successful outcome to this bookshelf reorganization at the end of the video. So right now this is what I am working with. I have some stuff down there and I think I'm going to move that out of the way because then I would have another entire shelf to place books. I'm also wondering if I move some of my young adult mysteries onto that shelf and do a young adult shelf. That might help me out and make some more room. I actually did a poll on my Instagram stories asking my followers how they think I should reorganize my shelves, and the winner was by color. I do think that bookshelves organized by color look really pretty. I like that rainbow effect. However, I've decided I'm just gonna disregard what my followers voted for, so I apologize. I have decided I don't like that idea after all, because I think it would bother me to not have my series grouped together. Then I thought maybe I could do alphabetical instead, but I want some of my really pretty books to be in a frame when I'm filming my YouTube videos, and you know, for instance, I love Jane Austen, but if I do alphabetical, she would be over there, out of frame, and I want you to be able to see my Austen novels. So I think I'm going to try to keep my shelves organized by genre, and hopefully if I just move some things around, I can make this work. If it's a complete fail, then I'm gonna have to reevaluate. So while I am going through the random notebooks and papers that I had taking up space here, why don't I just chat about some upcoming plans for the channel and for my Scrabble TBR game. So I'm planning to do a reading vlog, hopefully very, very soon, where I read all of the blind date books that I ordered from Etsy. I posted part 1 of that video a few months ago, and I hope I'm finally going to be able to read the 3 historical fiction books that I received in that video. I ordered these books from different Etsy shops to see how well they would do recommending books for me based on my Goodreads account. So that vlog will be out hopefully very soon, and hopefully I enjoy all of the books. I don't even know what this is. It's going in the trash. I am also currently reading Vanity Fair for the read-along that Tori from Hufflepuff Discovery is doing. Almost 50% of the way through now, and honestly, I'm really liking it. I didn't know what to expect because I've heard very mixed reviews for that book, but I like it. I like how the narrator interjects their opinions into the story, and there's a lot of social commentary, which I enjoy. None of the characters really are likable, so if you're someone who needs to root for somebody, there's really not that many likable characters in this book at all. The only character that I really like is Dobbin. I definitely think he's the only sympathetic character in this book. I think Becky Sharp's a horrible person, but she's very interesting to read about. So I look forward to seeing where the next half of the book is going to go, and I will be finishing that by the end of February, hopefully. Then the plan for the read-along is that in March and April we're supposed to read Gone with the Wind, because Gone with the Wind was apparently partially inspired by Vanity Fair, so we're going to read them back to back to see what similarities and differences there are. And I do think Gone with the Wind could be an interesting book to read with a larger group because it has a lot of problematic racial components. I believe some dicey consent issues, and I think it's good to discuss those issues with a larger group and talk about that. But I also heard a lot of people say that the plot is also really interesting, so I don't really know what to expect with that one, but I'm open to giving it a try. I've never read the book, I've never even seen the movie, so it should be an interesting experience, at least. I don't know if I'll like it or not, but we'll see. I think it'll be good to discuss with other people. Also, I don't know why I remember this, but one thing I remember my grandmother telling me when I was very little was that when she was a young girl, she went to the movie theater to see Gone with the Wind, the film, when it came out. And back in the day, when she was a little girl going to see Gone with the Wind, at the end of the movie, when Rhett Butler said, "damn," everybody in the theater gasped. Like, oh, I can't believe he said damn, that's such a bad word. Whereas nowadays, like, damn's barely even a curse word. Everybody says damn. For some reason, I just really remember her telling me that story about how back then everybody gasped because Rhett Butler said damn. I don't even know why I remember this from my childhood, but I do. So there you go. I will say I do think Vanity Fair also has some racism in it. Now, some of it I think is characters you're not supposed to like saying racist things, so I don't think it's necessarily Thackeray's belief. If anything, he is critiquing people who would say those things. Of course, there are like some other passing casual racism that I think was just very typical of this period. There's also some generalizations about what women are like that I found sexist in the way that you would expect from this time period. So that's not great. And also, this book is critical of pretty much everyone and every group, so I guess you could argue there's really no person or group that looks good in Vanity Fair, because Thackeray is kind of insulting everyone, so. Okay, so I got up to take back these books that my mom borrowed from me and said she wanted to read, but then never actually did, so I'm taking them back because I need to fit them on my bookshelf somewhere during this reorganization process. I guess that's pretty much it for the read-along. Really enjoying Vanity Fair so far. Excited to keep reading and see where it goes. Will be trying Gone with the Wind. Don't really know exactly what to expect. Don't know if I'll like it, but definitely think it would make for interesting large group discussion. I also need to move this stack. These are the books that I unhauled in my recent combined book haul and unhaul video, so I'll link that in the card if you haven't seen that yet and want to see that video. I guess the other thing I wanted to discuss in the chatty part of this video is the changes coming to Scrabble TBR. So I believe that I should be on track to reach 150 points in the next episode of Scrabble TBR. I'm assuming most of you watching this video have seen my Scrabble TBR game because those are the most popular videos that I make. Basically, I spell words in Scrabble to act as my reading prompts, and when I reach 150 points, I get to pick a free book for that month's TBR. However, I want to implement some changes the next time I reach 150 points. In order to up the difficulty just slightly, I want my TBR to be sustainable. I want to set myself up for success, so I don't want to have punishments on top of punishments. But I think these new changes will hopefully make the game a little more interesting, and it will also make the game more similar to an actual game of Scrabble. The other night I took out my Scrabble board to play around with it, and I actually read all of the Scrabble rules. There were some things in there that I actually didn't realize were a rule. For instance, several times in my videos when I switch out my letters, I would jokingly apologize, being like, oh, I didn't put the tiles back in the bag before I picked new ones. You can call that cheating, but I do what I want. That's actually not cheating, because it specifies in the rules that when you switch out your tiles, you do not have to put the tiles back in the bag before you take the new ones. So that was never cheating. That was actually me following the rules without even realizing it. So one of the things that I want to do now with these new changes to the game is sort of have my TBRs build off each other to make it more like an actual game of Scrabble. So let's just say, for instance, let's say in March I spell the word cat. Okay, let's just say that's one of my prompts. So then in April, the month after March, cat will still be on the board, as well as any other prompts that I spelled in March. So maybe then, if the word was cat, in April I could build off the T and spell 2 for like a sequel or something. And then my 150 point threshold will now no longer be a free pick. When I reach 150 points, I will get to clean the board and start over fresh with a new board, if that makes sense. Typically, I have been reaching 150 points every 3 or 4 months, so basically I will clean the board and start fresh 3 or 4 times a year, which I think makes it a little more difficult, but still very manageable. I'm also going to be using the power play tiles a little differently. I will explain all the details later. One thing I would like to hear from you guys about is, do you think I should make an entire video just explaining the new rules, or should I just explain it at the beginning of the March TBR video? I'm not really sure. I don't know how long it'll take to explain the new rules, but I think it might be good to have a video that's just going over the TBR game rules. Therefore, if somebody discovers my channel for the first time, I can just link them to that video explaining all the rules instead of having to go over it in every single month's TBR. So, would you like me to make a separate video just outlining the new changes? And if so, should I post that the same day that I post the TBR video? I would like to hear your thoughts on what you think will be the most helpful. I guess that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. If I think of something else later, I'll let you all know. Hopefully I did an okay job explaining these TBR game changes. Yeah. So basically my game plan now is I'm going to move those unhauled books into another room. I will be taking them to be donated later. I think I'll remove all my little knickknacks and accessories from the bookshelf and then start moving things around. Hopefully I will be able to reorganize the shelves without having to take every single thing off, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, I think I managed it. Now, some of the shelves are tighter than others. Some are pretty jam-packed. Others have plenty of room for me to buy more books. Some books that fit into multiple genres or categories, I had to get a little creative where I put them to make everything fit. But I think this is an improvement. We now have an entire additional shelf that we didn't have before. I think this was a success. Let's take a bookshelf tour. Starting up here, we have the young adult books, and this is probably the shelf I'm the least happy with because I also had to put some young adult fantasy and young adult mysteries on this shelf. I would have rather had those books with the other fantasies and other mysteries. However, you gotta do what you gotta do to make everything fit. So, all in all, that's that shelf. Now, this shelf is history and general nonfiction, as well as my old yearbooks and things like that. I'll also be keeping my playbills from various shows that I've seen on this shelf. There's still a little bit of extra room, so I can fit more books on this shelf in the future. Next, we now have 2 shelves to fit all my fantasy books. I had to move things around several times because J.K. Rowling was causing me problems. Surprise, surprise, but I made everything fit. Some things had to be stacked on top of each other. It is what it is. But we have my Hunger Games books, my Harry Potter books, some assorted fantasy. I think all of that is young adult as well. Then we have a whole another shelf that includes some more series, including my A Song of Ice and Fire books. Prior of the Orange Tree just had to get put on top there because it's just too big. That's the only place that I could fit it. So if it looks ugly, that's Priory's fault for being so big. This top shelf is for mysteries and thrillers. We do have a mix of young adult and adult here, and there are a couple historical mysteries on this shelf as well. I decided whether or not to put them on historical fiction versus mystery just based off of how much space I had. A lot of these books are in the exact same place that they were before, but there are a couple of things added and shuffled around. There is a little bit of extra space. If I want to buy something else, I could probably put my cup in there if I wanted to. This shelf is for historical fiction books of various kinds. Some of them are young adult, and a couple are historical fiction with fantastical elements. Again, I decide where to put those just based off of what was the smartest choice space-wise. But that's that shelf. I think it looks pretty good. I like that I now have all these pretty Outlander books together. Then these bottom 2 shelves are for classic books. I put my Penguin cloth-bound classics together, so those are all grouped together and will be in frame for my videos. Then my Agatha Christie's are also grouped together, though those could go with the mysteries. I put them with the classics. I also put the Testaments next to the Handmaid's Tale. We'll consider those modern classics. Again, do they fit perfectly with the theme? No, but I wanted them to be next to each other, and that's where they fit. I also have my collection of bookmarks tucked away back here next to this cat statue. So, these are my updated shelves. I am pretty happy with it, and there's room for me to fit more classics if I buy those. Also, I think if I had to, I would be okay with fitting historical fiction and classics together on a shelf because they kind of go together, and those are the genres that I see myself buying the most in the future. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. So those are my updated bookshelves. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed getting a look at my updated bookshelves for 2022. Do sound off in the comments. Would really like to hear your thoughts about the new TBR game rules that I will be implementing. Do you think I should make a separate video discussing the new rules? Would really like some thoughts on that. Also, I promise that when it comes to the new rules, I will actually listen to everybody's opinions. I'm not going to override the popular results like I did with my Instagram poll. Sorry, I'm the worst. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every single Wednesday. My social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.